Hello everyone, this is Mitch Wagner from Light Reading. I'm here at the fantastic big 5G event in beautiful Denver, the Mile High City. I'm here with Ed Fox, the CTO of MetTel. We went to our reception last night. We may have had one or two or more than two beers. And before we were singing My Way at the top of our lungs and saying, I love you, man. We were talking about 5G, and you were a little bit of a 5G skeptic.
I think we were singing New York, New York, actually.
New York, always a fine song, yes.
Yeah, so it was a great conversation, great event last night. So I wouldn't necessarily say skeptic for us. It's kind of like saying digital transformation.
Yeah.
So it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and it's how you actually roll it out. 5G is a lot of different technologies, as we see today and at this event. And it's about we think it's about finding what business needs for enterprise fit into a 5G architecture.
Okay, so what do you see as the initial business needs?
So we sit as somewhat of a strategic advisor to our enterprise clients, and it's all around their business needs. So we do think that 5G will be very privatized, at least initially, particularly at the frequencies that we're speaking about that won't penetrate in building. I think we have a very good roadmap and a great story about how we can help in that space, and kind of future-proofing the land today so it can handle 5G in the future.
What do you mean by privatized?
So when I privatize, I mean more about, we talked about it a lot, the keynotes talked about it a lot yesterday. They talked even about enterprise setting up private LTE, private 5G networks on campus, in building, and the ability for them, or even the necessity for them to actually think about starting to create roaming agreements with the bigger carriers, because the privatization of the wireless networks in building, particularly at 5G frequencies, is going to be necessary.
Well, why? Why are they haven't needed to do with LTE? Why are they going to need to do it with 5G?
The higher frequencies won't penetrate the buildings, for sure. And we all talk about X amount of devices per square kilometer. And I think we're going to blow past that pretty quickly. And I think a lot of enterprises are going to more want to control their environment than actually have to go out to the carrier for 5 millisecond latency.
Yeah.
I think that's unattainable at this point.
Okay, so what about if in the US they're talking about possibly freeing up some midband spectrum? Would that mitigate that problem and mitigate that need?
I think so. I think CBRS, there was a great presentation on CBRS yesterday, and I think that's a great space, and I think there's going to be I'm very excited about what we can do with our clients in that space. So I think that will help.
Okay, all right. So you guys are doing some interesting things with NFV, if I recall correctly?
Yes, yeah. So we're very excited. We teamed up with Dell EMC and VMware, and we're deploying their telco reference architecture for our first full NFV data center.
Okay.
So only switching, and everything else is virtualized. So I think as a carrier, we've been way ahead of the virtualization curve, not necessarily because it was cool and it's what's happening at these events. It was more around for us being competitive and being able to spin up services that our clients are asking for in the time that they're asking for them, and make it cost effective to them. So for us, this is a full-blown, all virtualized telco pop.
All singing, all dancing.
Yeah, and we're very excited about it.
So what particular functions are you looking to virtualize?
Routing's going to be virtualized. All of our applications, most of our applications are already virtualized. All our SIP stack is virtualized today. Our cloud firewalls are virtualized today. Service assurance is virtualized today. So we're super excited to put that all together and have the orchestration on top of it. What we really feel is the next step here is that the virtualized LAN, let's think NSX.
Yeah,
I call
yeah.
NSX, it's a VMware product, but just think software-defined data center and virtualized LAN in the data center. I really think we're getting to the point where that LAN, that software-defined LAN within the data center is getting transposed through SD-WAN out to the branch.
Okay.
And I think you see that happening with the AWSs of the world, the Azures of the world, where they're starting to deploy, I'll call it mobile edge compute, because that's really what it is. We're at 5G event, so I'll say mobile edge compute. But really, they're pushing their cloud to the edge, and that's really software-defined wide area networking, but it's really software-defined LAN. It's extending the LAN.
What's the connection as you see it between the NFV work you're doing and 5G?
Yeah, so I think what we're doing on the NFV side and that whole virtualization effort, we are looking to deploy our own EPC now and our own HLR. We really think that in the 5G world, particularly with all the bandwidth the tsunami of bandwidth that's going to come at us from this world, it's going to allow us to turn up and size our applications appropriately, not only within our hybrid cloud, but also to be able to use some public resources as well to spin up wherever we need to. Let's say we're doing bandwidth control for some 5G endpoints for our customers where we're firewalling it. If we need to stand up new firewalls or more firewalls very quickly and use more compute immediately, more than we have in that particular location, we want to be able to stand that up in the public cloud and have private connections to it and be able to support that right away.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Let's go get some coffee.
Thank you.